Hi, it's it's me again. There's only there's only one pup left out of the litter, and there are people coming from as far as 80 80 miles away to see it. We will have to hurry. What a long time you have been out there. We both did our lunch, and Helen, Rosie, granddaughter Emma, and I drove out too. Bedale, Miss Matson led us into the kitchen and pointed to a teeny brindle creature twisting and withering under the table. That's him, she said. I reached down and lifted the puppy as he crawled his little body round, apparently trying to touch his tail with his nose. But that tail wagged furiously, and the pink tongue was busy at my hand. Uh, I knew he was hours before my quick examination for Hernia and an oversized jaw. The deal was quickly struck, and we went outside to inspect the puppy's relations. His mother and grandmother were out there. They lived in little barrels which served as kennels, and both of them darted out and stood up at our legs at our legs, tails lashing, mouths panting in delight. I I felt vastly reassured with happy, healthy ancestors like those. I knew we had every chance of a first-rate dog. As we drove home with the puppy in Emma's arms, the warm thought came to me. The wheel had indeed turned. After nearly 50 years, I had my border terrier. The choice of a name exercised our minds for many days with arguments, suggestions, and counter suggestions. We finally decided on BODIE. Helen and I were great fans of the TV series The Professionals, and our particular hero was Lewis, Collins, who took the part of BODIE. We have met Lewis a few times, and were at first a little hesitant about telling him that we had named our dog after him, but he doesn't mind knowing us, and understanding the honored place a dog occupies in our household. Helen and settled down happily with BODIE we had we had been lost without a dog in the house, and it was a lovely relief to have felt that awful gap. It it was extraordinary that the gap was filled by a Grizzled, hairy faced little creature about 9 inches long, but BODIE effortlessly performed the miracle. Hel- Helen had a dog to feed again and see to his in-house care and bedding, and I had a companion in my car and on my bedtime walk, even though he was almost invisible on the end of his lead. His his first meeting with Polly was a tremendous event. I mentioned the instant friendship between Hector and Dan. It it was different with BODIE. He fell in love. This is no exaggeration. Polly became and is to this day the most important living creature in his world. Since she lived next door, he was able to watch her house from our sitting room window, and a wired yapping was always the sign that the adored one had appeared in her garden. Fortunately for his peace of mind, he had a walk with her every day, and at the weekend several times a day, and as he he grew up, it was clear that this routine was the most significant thing in his life. It was when he was about a year old that I was walking down a lane with the two of them trotting ahead. Memories stored stored in me as I watched them. The noble Labrador and the scruffy little terrier side by side. Suddenly Polly picked up a stick. BODIE seized one end of it, and in a flash, a hectic tug of war was raging. The little border grumbled and growled in fierce concentration, and as Polly glanced at me with amusement in her eyes, I had the uncanny impression that I had got Hector and Dan back again. As BODIE approached the adult stage, I was able to assess his various qualities. My my dog encyclopedia describing the border uses words like tough, honest, like tough, honest, down to earth. It does not say that it is. It is pretty in fact, it states that it has it it has not quite the elegance of the more fashionable members of the terrier group. I would have to admit all that. BOD, I thought this is shaggy, whiskered little face is almost comic, but it has certainly grown on me when I look at it now. I can find great depths of character and expression. The the book also described the breed as intensely loyal and gentle with children. Again, white on both counts, but BODIE obviously regards himself as a tough guy and as such seems a seems a little embarrassed about showing his affection.